Hello, and welcome to the Community Worker Fast Track Program Information Session. My name is Rusa Jeremic. I am a professor and researcher in the Community Worker Program. I teach both in the Community Worker 2-year program and the Fast Track option. To contact me, you can email rjeremic@georgebrown.ca. I'd like to begin with a land and treaty acknowledgement. George Brown College is situated on the sovereign Indigenous territory of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Anishinaabe peoples, the Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the Credit River. We are all treaty people, accountable to the Dish with One Spoon, Truro Wampum, Treaty 13, and the Williams Treaty. When gathering on Indigenous land, it is always important to express gratitude for the ability to gather here and also to name the ongoing treaty relationships between settlers and Indigenous peoples. Today's agenda includes a look at what is community work. I will provide some details on the program and coursework. We will discuss what the field experience is all about. I will touch upon admission requirements, student success services, employment in the field, and we will close with contact information. The Community Worker Fast Track program is a dynamic social justice program grounded in the principles of human rights and anti-oppression, preparing students to work with largely urban-centered and diverse communities across a range of issues, including anti-poverty, housing rights, food justice, immigration and settlement, and many, many others, in ways that are responsive to multiple and changing needs. So what is community work? We are often asked, what is the difference between the social service worker program and the community worker program? Social service work emphasizes one-on-one counseling relationships or small group counseling relationships, and also service delivery provision, meaning that the emphasis is on meeting people's immediate needs. While community workers also work to meet people's immediate needs, they can work with a broader range of groups. So they're working with individuals, they can be working with small or large groups, communities such as neighborhoods, racial or ethnic communities, social justice agencies, human rights organizations, nonprofit groups. There's a strong focus on community organizing, community empowerment, and community development. Community workers work with individuals and communities at all levels. So that can be at the very local level in a neighborhood setting, for example, could be at a provincial level, a national level, and even globally, all working towards positive social change. Community work emerges from a proud history of community-based organizing, advocacy, and activism. Community workers are committed to the full and equal inclusion of all peoples within societies, valuing equality, equity, diversity, and human dignity. When we say we are in the pursuit of social justice, we are referring to human rights and the fulfillment of human rights for everybody, as opposed to a charity-based model, which can create a dependency when meeting immediate needs, in the sense that it is a circle of continually meeting immediate needs without a component of addressing the systemic issues that are causing the social issue in the first place. Community workers work in solidarity with communities and folks, not for them. So we take an approach where we're very much walking alongside people and groups rather than an approach which is top-down, where we're working on behalf of communities without actually taking our cue or our lead from the communities themselves. In that way, we seek to act as catalysts to empower both individuals and communities. A community worker has multiple entry points on working with people and communities. For example, they may work with somebody to meet their immediate needs, and those immediate needs might be things like shelter, food, health, income, safety, immigration status, resettlement. But for community work, it doesn't stop there. Community workers also work through communities, agencies, and as advocates and activists to address the systemic roots of injustice that are causing, for example, a lack of food, or inaccessible housing, or inadequate income supports. For example, we might be working at a level of a food bank, and we may say we're meeting somebody's immediate needs because we are giving them food, right? A food bank, you could go in and access food. What happens is after a certain amount of time, you eat all the food and you're hungry again. So the problem itself, the social issue of food insecurity, hasn't actually resolved itself. And people need to keep going back to the food bank in order to meet some nutritional needs. Whereas in community work, we would look at the root causes of why people are accessing a food bank. What are the root causes of the injustice that is causing such food insecurity? For example, in Toronto, the majority of people accessing food banks are people who are working full-time at a minimum wage. So we can deduce from that situation that if we had an adequate minimum wage, a living wage, and if we work to change the law so that we had a adequate living wage, fewer people would actually need to use and access a food bank on a regular basis. That's what I mean when I say we also look at systemic roots of injustice, and we also act as advocates in working towards addressing those systemic roots. Community work itself encompasses a broad range of agencies, organizations that are working to address urgent needs, but also tackling systemic injustice. Community workers are working towards human rights and dignity for all. The Community Worker Program itself was founded in 1975. It is one of the largest and longest operating programs of its kind in Canada. It is very highly regarded for developing key skills in social justice advocacy and approaching community work through a rights-based lens. It is grounded in the principles of human rights and anti-oppressive practice, and students are prepared to work with urban-centered and diverse communities across a range of sectors and issues. We are connected to over 350 agencies and organizations across the Greater Toronto Area. And we will work to help you when it's time to find a field placement. We will work to help you find that placement, though you will find that on your own. Pending approval, graduates can apply to the Ontario College of Social Workers and Social Service Workers for an additional professional designation of Registered Social Service Worker. So we are right now in the midst of a recertification with the Ontario College of Social Service Workers to recertify the program. And the hope is that there will be a positive outcome so that students who graduate with a community worker diploma will actually be able to register also as a social service worker. So you will have that dual designation as both a community worker and a social service worker. We will let you know once that is approved and finalized. The Fast Track program that you're interested in is available for applicants who have a prior diploma or degree. The diploma or degree does not have to be in a specific field. It can be a more general diploma or degree, but it needs to have been successfully completed. So the credential will be an Ontario College Diploma. That's what you're receiving at the end of your time in the program. It is a full-time program. So the duration is 1 year plus 5-week intensive fast track program. So you would enter the fast track program in the second week of May, and you would be in that program full-time for 5 weeks. Full-time really is full-time. You would be expected to attend classes every day from Monday to Friday. And there will be some time set aside for you to work in small groups on your projects. So the Fast Track program is a shortened, condensed version of the full 2-year program. Your first semester is in the spring, May, June, 5 weeks, full-time intensive. And then in the fall, you would join the second year of the Community Worker C101 program, and you would attend the courses through the fall semester and the winter semester. So it would be from May to April, a 1-year fast track intensive program. So you have 4 classes in the fast track. You have 4 classes that are held on separate days, 1 day per class. And the classes focus on 4 streams of community work theory, interpersonal communication skills, social and political analysis, and preparation for field practicum. So you will be expected to find and secure a placement, a field placement for September. You will have that field placement from September to April. And so you have a class in May that is going to help you reflect upon the type of placement that you're interested in, so the stream of community work that you're interested in, because there are many, and also introduce you to some grads who are working in the field to help you generate some ideas for yourself and create some steps along the way so that you are able to hopefully secure your placement by the end of the fast track semester, which would be in June. So there are a number of varied key skills that you will learn through the community worker program. Anti-oppressive and intercultural practice in working with diverse populations is a key skill that runs through the program. So this could mean a wide variety of populations, immigrant communities, newcomers, hard to house folks, Black and Indigenous populations, young people, communities, neighborhood communities, 2S LGBTQIA plus folks, really looking at, depending on your own interest, what stream of community work and who you're interested in working with to follow. And so the key skills are applicable to a wide variety of community worker sectors. You will engage in critical thinking, research, writing. We'll look at how to address systemic anti-Black and anti-Indigenous racism and generally BIPOC systemic racism. So again, we're looking at the roots. Group facilitation and leadership skills. You will learn about individual and group counseling skills, and you will develop your entry-level counseling skills, conflict de-escalation, restorative justice, community organizing, activism, community development, um, program design, so community development programming, so how to develop programs, how to write funding proposals, um, policy analysis and rights-based advocacy. So again, thinking about those systemic levels of how to change policy, how to engage in rights-based advocacy. Our coursework in the community worker program is very participatory. We engage in dialogue, debate, there are interactive lectures, guest panels, group activities. We now have more interactive online activities that one would engage in, including interactive animated case studies. So there is a degree of expectation of participation um, in each class through the activities, but also through the lectures. The lectures are seen very much as a dialogue rather than talking at somebody. So this might be, for those of you that have been to university, this might be a little bit different, as this is a more active approach to education. With experiential learning, lots of opportunities for experiential learning that really strives to replicate the field in the classroom. There's approximately 6 to 7 courses per semester. Field practice and field seminar count as 2 classes. So you, in addition to going to field practicum 2 days a week from September to April, you also have a field seminar class where you engage with your peers and colleagues on certain key skill building, problem solving discussions on how to advance and secure your professional relationship at the field practicum. So the field experience itself. As I mentioned, the field practice placement is in the second year of the program, so you would begin it in September and end in April. The total number of hours required is 400 hours, which works out to 2 days per week in semester 3, the fall, and 2 days per week in semester 4, the winter. The fieldwork seminar supports your success in the field. In addition to actually having this experience and developing and establishing a relationship with a field agency, nonprofit organization in a sector where you hope to transition into the workforce, we also provide you with a number of different networking opportunities that include, for example, employment panels with field agency representatives who are often our alumni who are established and working in the field. And we also offer program options, and these are specific courses geared to respond to students' interest. You would be able to take a program option in the fall and one in the winter. And some of the topics include housing and homelessness, community legal issues, food justice, program evaluation, immigration and settlement. And these are all taught by working professionals in the field who are working in these areas and have developed a level of expertise. So in taking these classes, this is again another opportunity for networking, establishing relationships, and the professors themselves will bring in further opportunities for networking, all of which will increase your chances for employment after graduation. As I mentioned earlier, you are responsible for securing your own field placement. That said, we do have a field placement coordinator, Dave Smith, who is available to support and help you through the journey of securing a field placement. We have a database of 350 agencies that you will have access to once you're in the program to help you secure your placement as well. And so we do offer you quite a bit of support in addition to the course I mentioned earlier that is part of the fast track. So you will receive a lot of support from the program to help you to be successful in securing a field placement to begin in September, but ultimately it is your responsibility to secure that placement. We will also introduce you to the many different sectors and areas of work within our program and within our contacts, so that you can reflect on where it is that you would like to have and receive experience in order to enhance your employability possibilities post-graduation. So in order to be admitted into the fast track program, as I mentioned, you require a diploma or bachelor's degree. Applicants with international transcripts need to provide an English language proficiency test result. And if that is not possible, then you have to test at the college level through the George Brown College English Assessment Center. So you may have to take that additional step. I believe there's a nominal charge for the English test at George Brown, and it can be done online. So if you're a domestic student, you would apply through www.ontariocolleges.ca. And if you're an international student, you would apply through the International Student Center and George Brown's online application system, which is here, applynow.georgebrown.ca/international/. I would suggest that if you are interested in the program, that you consider applying sooner rather than later. The programs at George Brown are first come, first serve, and once they're full, then they're cut off, right? So there isn't sort of a cutoff date on when you need to apply. It's more of a situation where it's first come, first serve, and once it becomes full, that's when the program closes. So if you are keen on applying for the fast track program, I would recommend that you do it as soon as possible. All right, so thinking about student success vis-a-vis the community worker program, you will be very successful in our program if you're passionate about human rights and social justice, or if you're passionate about learning about human rights and social justice and understanding them better. You don't have to be an expert. You don't even have to have a in-depth learning, but if you're open to learning about human rights and social justice, and you're committed to the values of inclusion, equity, the right of everybody to live a good quality life and dignity, then this is the place for you. You need to be committed to working with diverse communities. Our student population is also very diverse, and you'll find once you enter into the program that the students themselves reflect broader Toronto society. We have a very interesting mix of students coming to us, right from another diploma or degree, to mature students with lots of life experience, immigrants who come from a whole other reality of experience, and it's a very interesting mix of a student body, which actually, in and of itself, through the work that we do, which is working in community in the classroom, you actually have the opportunity to learn a lot and also to hone your skills on working with diverse communities. So think about being open to learning, challenging your assumptions, learning new things, and adopting an anti-oppressive practice. So in terms of student success services, there are a number of services at George Brown that will help you be successful in your program, whatever program you attend. And so some of these include counseling services and um, emotional health support, accessible learning services. So this is for folks who may have some learning accommodations. Even if you're not sure whether you need or have accommodations, you can always set up an appointment with the accessible learning services to just discuss your situation with them, to see what is and what isn't possible. The idea of accessible learning services is that if folks need accommodations, they are there for them. Your professor will receive a letter identifying what accommodations you need. And so these types of accommodations might be things like needing extra time for any tests, requiring extensions for assignments, um, recording lectures, etc., etc. So it could be a wide variety of different types of accessible services. And if you do feel like you want to check that out, please don't hesitate to contact them because it helps ensure everyone's success. The final thing I'll mention about these services is that they can also provide accommodations on a temporary basis. For example, um, I don't know, it's not relevant when we're working online, but um, if you were to break your leg, um, you may get a temporary accommodation while you're in a cast to maybe not, that you won't be attending all classes because it's difficult to get to the school, for example. So it can be done on a temporary basis as well. There's also a tutoring and learning center. And here you can get peer tutoring. There's peer tutoring available for you. If you're struggling with assignments, if you've been out of school for a long time and you've forgotten how to write an essay, that's okay. That happens. And you need some support in that. The Tutoring and Learning Center will support you. And all you need to do is set up an appointment and you're good to go. Library workshops, so there's many workshops available online through the library. We also have a librarian dedicated to our program who you're able to contact if, for example, if you're having problems finding research on a topic. Sarah Weeb would be able to help you. There's online learning supports as well. There's housing at George Brown. There's support through the Student Association, not just for student advocacy, but also they have a SNAP program, SNAP, which is about nutritional access program, student nutritional access program, and they offer many different types of access to fresh, healthy food for those who need it. There's also career support through the program and through the Career Center. So there's many supports at George Brown outside of the program that will work to ensure your success inside of the program. So employment in the field. So this slide gives you a general idea of the multitude of sectors and types of work that our graduates engage in. So newcomer settlement, human rights of 2S LGBTQIA plus persons, housing workers or shelter workers, working on community development initiatives, so very much localized in a geographic community, neighborhood advocacy groups, supporting seniors, so different types of drop-ins and community-based work with seniors, community development initiatives, again, very popular. Food justice. So food justice can, in Toronto, can take on many different shapes and forms. People work in food centers, such as the Stop. People work at Food Share, which is works from a perspective of human right to food. community gardening, urban agriculture. There's many different kinds of initiatives in the city, and the city is actually quite keen on food justice types of initiatives. We also have grads working in urban farming, so it's quite interesting. BIPOC youth, so different youth-based programs. So community workers can work with youth, but not children. If you're interested in working with children, you should be looking at the Child and Youth Worker Program. We have extensive relationships and connections at the City of Toronto through a variety of their programs. They have community development programs in priority neighborhoods. They have street to homes where they're focusing on working with homeless population. They have a number of different programs. We've also worked in recreation, community centers. We have alumni working community centers. We have alumni working in employment, counseling. So really a wide variety of areas where you can work in. And so these are also some of the, I guess, jobs, we could call them, that community worker graduates have. So harm reduction worker. Harm reduction is a field where a lot of community workers are working. Settlement worker, community hub. So many of the community agencies out there have created these hubs, joining services. So we have folks who work as resource coordinators. So they're coordinating the resources available for people and also providing referrals for folks. You can work as a popular educator, human rights advocate. We have a number of students that have worked in the past and have had their placements at constituency offices and also continue to work part-time. So constituency offices are also another interesting hub in a community where if you're there meeting community members, coming in to talk to their representatives about the issues they're facing. So we've had folks working at the city, municipal level, and the provincial level, and also the federal level, actually. So very interesting. Again, another stream of community work. Senior support program coordinator, employment counselor. So we have folks that also work helping folks enhance their skills for employment, and also offering a variety of, facilitating a variety of workshops. So you can see through those last few slides that community work really embraces a lot of different sort of sectors and interests of work. There's many more that I haven't mentioned here. And what we do within the program is we're really encouraging you to pursue your passion and interest. And we want to support you in that journey of your passion and interest within community work. So we look to support that, to help you build your resume around the sector and the interests that you're passionate about in community work, and try our best to connect you with others who are working in that area. So let me close by saying that we really look forward to working with you, and I hope to see you all in the spring. For any further information, please contact the program coordinators, Farhia and William, through the email cwcoordinator@georgebrown.ca. cwcoordinator@georgebrown.ca. Thank you so much and have a great day.